What is up, beautiful people? Welcome back. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah. Today I'm the one doing the intro. May I greet? So yeah, but I'm very happy to be here. You're seeing my face for the second time. And I'm very happy to be here once again. Thank you for hosting me.
You're welcome.
You guys already know Chris. He's not going to introduce himself. So
I'm going to introduce myself. Maybe I could introduce myself. Should you? I'm the guy hosting her. So I think that's an introduction that's enough. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, so in today's video, we're going to talk about the odd jobs before the dream job. Yeah. And I think that's self-explanatory to some extent, but we are going to share much more we're going to share more in the video based on our experiences, and you can relate. If you can relate, share in the comments and everything. Would like this to be as interactive as possible. So, Chris, you're going to be the one to tell us about your experience first.
I'm going to be the one telling you about my experience first.
Yeah. So, what's it been like before you say feeling like you now have some momentum on what you're doing?
When you're like 2 years down the road after like high school or something like that, and you've gone through some university or something like that, and you need like some papers. You need some work, and you find that you have to like pick up on different things here, there, so that you can make some money. It doesn't always start up well. Like, that's what I wanted to say.
Or easy.
Yeah, or easy. I remember my first gig was shooting videography and photography, and the event started from 6 and it went to 9 something, coming to 10, let's say 9:40. Crazy.
That's more than 12 hours.
That's a lot. But not 6 in the morning, it was 6 in the evening.
Right.
Yeah, 6 in the evening.
I thought 6 in the morning.
Yeah,
I was going to be
So it still doesn't seem like it was a lot of time.
Yeah.
But still,
yeah.
Still, and I was being paid 100 grand. I mean, for the start, it was okay because, man, I wasn't really making anything. I wasn't making any money at that point. Yes, I did complain, but I didn't complain directly to the boss on the first encounter. I actually did the gig for like 2 more months or 3 more months. And then after I was like, guys, nah. I need some more. I need some more pay. Yeah. And even the addition wasn't really it, but at least it was something to carry me on as I looked for other things to do. At least I was not just going to remain complaining with the boss for a lot more pay. At least he had fulfilled a little bit of it. He had increased a little bit of it. But then I had to now wake up, snap out of it, and try to get some other work. In Europe, people used to complain a lot. Like, people used to go to work, taxes were high, all of that. People started complaining with the bosses. We need more pay, government this, government that. Yeah. And in this book that I was reading, they were talking about how you're complaining that your boss isn't increasing your pay. But instead of you complaining with your boss and all of that, try to become adaptive. Try to find other things you can do to make ends meet.
Yes.
And slowly by slowly, you might land a better paying job. Slowly by slowly, at least if you're actively doing something, you open up for other things. You find other things that actually get you more pay. And that's exactly what happened. So I did do like some odd jobs there. And it wasn't only this one. There was also another one, some kind of like poetry event. That one was only photography, but even the pay was even half of the other 100. That was like
crazy.
50. I'm just there and I'm like, okay, let's go. Let me just work. Let's go. Let me just make some money. That's my life in a sense.
Interesting.
Yeah. So how has it been for you?
For me, it's been an interesting experience still. Like we mentioned, yes, the odd job leads you to the dream job, or maybe the decent job, because I wouldn't say that, right now I have my dream job, but I'm happy to be where I am, and I'm very grateful to God, honestly.
Yeah.
But like, there was a lot of, I usually call it kissing ass before you get to,
That's a nice one.
Yeah, and then, so now for me, currently, I did mention in the introduction, I'm a UI UX designer or product designer. So I design interfaces, I design applications for a living. So to get to this part, to get to where I am at the moment, it's been 2 years of crazy work. What do I mean by that? When I was at uni, I didn't even do computer science. Actually, I felt like I was not qualified enough to do it. And like the thought was there, but I was like, no, I haven't gotten the points and stuff like that. So I was like, but like also I wasn't sure I wanted to do that. So I did BBA. And then when I finished uni, I'm like, but I'm not feeling this BBA thing.
BBA,
now,
business
administration. Yeah. I wasn't feeling it. And it's a very good course. Meanwhile, I feel like to me, it's the best business course that anyone could ever do because it covers almost everything in business, HR, procurement, It covers all those things. So when you do BBA,
all-rounder.
Yeah, you're at a higher chance of getting a job in any of those things than someone who just did human resource or whatever. And I'm not saying that person can't get a job. I'm just saying that you, as a person who did BBA, you sort of have that flexibility to just, because you have some knowledge, and then from there you can advance. So when I was doing internship, because we have to do internship before you graduate, and so I remember my supervisor telling me, like, oh, by the way, as an accountant, you're not supposed to have long nails. I never have long nails. My nails are not even long. I never have long nails because I feel like they're inconveniencing, but I like how they look. And by then, as a campusser, I used to do long nails. The narrative just changed with time because of convenience. But you're not supposed to have long nails. When you have your nails done, they shouldn't be like a bright color and stuff because it's not professional and it's not ethical. You have to mind your dress code. Dress code, I don't mind dressing professionally, honestly. But then they told me, oh, make sure you also your hair. What? Now, I don't like plaiting black hair. I think even my parents made peace with it. They're like, oh, you're yet to amuleka. Like, at first, just be like, oh, you have to plait black hair and stuff.
No.
I wish I put I'm like, no, guys, I don't want.
Were you plaiting when you're in high school?
Yes, I used to plait in the holidays.
In the holidays?
Yeah.
But if you're in high school, like if you are plaiting in school, they'll probably get you to plait black hair.
Yes, I would have to do. In fact, most of the time when I was in high school, I only plaited black hair. Then...
And it never sat well with you?
No, by then I had no problem with it because it was a privilege. You know how when we were younger, they used to make us cut off hair.
Yeah.
So I go to Gayaza, they allow people to have their hair. So I used to have some hair to play during the holidays.
Yeah.
I used to have short hair in school. So then be there saying, girl, we studied with you, we know. I know. I had short hair, but like I used to have my hair long enough to be plaited.
I know. You're emphasizing like guys.
Yeah.
I know.
So before guys, making up stories. But yeah, like all through high school, the schools I went to used to allow hair. So I used to have my hair plaited. But then when I went to uni, I said, I think maroon looks good. I think this looks good. So when I found brown, I'm like, like I'll keep on doing this and this. So when I go to internship, they tell me, oh, you're not supposed to have like a certain hair color, what? And I'm like, please, this is my color. This is the one where I slay. This is the one that makes me a baddie. So what do you mean? I can't, no shade on black hair. It doesn't sell my boat. So I was thinking through and I'm like, I think these are too many restrictions. And I think by then, and for most creatives, they don't like to be controlled. So when you find creatives, you find that they are just in their own world. If you notice, if you have friends who are creatives, for them they're just in their own
There's
world.
a reason why they're called creatives.
Yeah.
Like these are people who think to come up with ideas, to come up with new things that have not existed before.
Yes.
And if you're trying to restrict them, you're trying to control them, you're not giving them their flexibility, you're not allowing them to do what they do, which is being creative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was just like, this is not going to work for me. So from there, I was like, that's when I now started having the clear picture of I actually don't want to be an accountant. Still no shade on accountants. For me, it just wasn't going to work for me. And I know, okay, like maybe it's not the story of maybe actually other accountants can have brown hair, but for me, what they told me was enough to bias me. And I'm like, you know what, never mind, I don't want this. So eventually, when I finished uni, I start, now for me, on the part of, let's say, maybe this contributing to me getting to where I am right now, it was the point of realization that what I'm doing is actually not what I want, So I finish uni, and then I tell my parents, I don't want to be an accountant. That caused some friction, by the way. Though also my parents are very supportive. So somehow they, as much as they were not understanding what I was doing, they were just praying for me that it makes sense, And eventually it did.
She has a big head, but if she doesn't make it,
Yeah. And like our parents, they want to see, obviously it can be nice when, let's say, your dad is talking to like their peers and they're saying,
exactly.
My daughter, she's an accountant here, or she's doing this. Guys, I was unemployed. And like, it was I felt like it wasn't sitting well with my parents. Not even me, it wasn't sitting well with me, but I was like, I'm not going to do a job I'm not going to take on a path that is not contributing to the thing I want to do. So eventually, I started working somewhere at a startup. I still wasn't doing design. In fact, by then, I was just learning how to design. I self-taught my way through my career path. So I do that job. I was doing customer service, customer experience and everything. And I hated that job so much. Even my boss knows. Sarah did not like customer experience.
You had to deal with a lot of garbage from customers. I had to deal with a lot
of garbage. But then, it's from that experience, because I'm a UX designer. Okay, I do UX design also, and that's like user experience and everything. So with user experience, you have to think for the users.
For the users, yeah.
So it gets much better when you've been in a situation where you learn to accommodate people and also put yourself in their shoes. Like if let's say working for your company, and maybe in your company you sell maybe, let's say beds. And then I call you, I'm like, I come with my frustration or whatever, that maybe this bed that you sold to me the other time.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, with that experience, I learned to put myself in the shoes of the customer or the user, and I understand their pain point, which is now such a game changer for me in my current role.
Yeah.
You get, in my current, part where I am in my career path. So I did that job for about a year, and then eventually I was working at a startup, so I told my boss, you know what, I can design the application. He's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, like you do. I didn't have any experience. All I knew was the things I'd learned from YouTube and some courses online and everything. And I still wasn't getting a lot of money, by the way. And most times we miss it because we're like, when I finish uni, because I feel like maybe I'm going to move out of my parents' house and to be earning, let's say, 2 million. If the job is not giving me 2 million, I don't want it. Let me tell you, you'll be there with wanting your 2 million, and then maybe a job that's giving you like 1.2 will come, you get, and you're like, no, that I don't want to do.
2 million, yeah.
And then opportunities keep on coming, keep on saying, I don't want because it's not 2 million. And then eventually you find yourself now settling for like 500K, you get. Yeah.
Big drop. Big
It can
drop.
be very bad. I'm not saying that it's good to settle, but I'm just saying that sometimes it's very important for us to see the bigger picture. So for me, at my first job when I was doing customer experience, I was like...
And also when you've just finished university, you're not all that perfect experience in the field. So that low pay, that small amount of money is very, very necessary for you to get the experience and later on charge more. Because now you can tell someone clarity. when you meet with a client, you can tell them, I have 4 years of experience, have 5 years of experience. You're confident now to tell them that because you've been doing this for a while.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was like the thing of do it for the experience. Though you reach a point, better you have to reach a point where like, it's not about like when you really feel like you've gained your skill, you need to reach a point where you draw the line and just say, okay, the truth is if you're not paying me this amount of money, I'm not taking it. You get, because you'll be so mad at yourself when you do a project at less money. That's like a story for another day. But back to like the point. You just know you have to do either pro bono work meaning work that you're doing for people for free, or you're going to have a lot of low budget clients. And sometimes the low budget clients, they help you. It's like, how they say life is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
It's the thing of also like when you're trying to get to that particular thing, what you go through is very, very important for you to get to that actual thing that you want. So for me to let's say start earning maybe $10,000 per month, I need to experience the things I'm experiencing now, the things I've experienced before, for me to actually be worthy of that 10K, for me to, you get what I mean? For me to get it and I deserve it, and I don't even just spend it lavishly because I'm like, oh, now I'm earning 10K. You know, when things come easy,
you
they
just
also,
blow it all away.
yeah, you just blow it all away. Yeah. So eventually, now when I was working, I do the application, I design it. Still, I kept on learning. And now for me, the thing has been, I'm very big on being in a space where I am encouraged to learn. So that startup where I was working, I had my boss used to encourage learning of you are doing this, can you learn this? Okay, go for it. Like I would even ask for some time off.
Controlling every piece of
he wasn't
the journey, like what you're doing.
No, he wasn't. So for me, I really thank God for that. And I know it's not an opportunity that comes easily to everyone, but as you pray to God that, God, I want this job that gives me maybe 3 million per month, also pray that that job does not just give you the money, it gives you connections, it makes you a better person.
It gives you a good working environment.
Because such things are the ones now that are going to take you to the one that's paying you 10 million per month, you get. Or they're the ones that are going to lead you to create your own company. I mean, you don't have to be employed full time. Though I'm also not saying that entrepreneurship is for everyone. Like, everyone is not supposed to be a business owner. But all in all, it's the journey that shapes us into being deserving of what we want to get. Yeah. So right now I think I'm okay. I like how things are going. I'm not saying that where I am is a dream job, but I like that now I have momentum of what I'm doing. Because before, the friction with my parents was, oh my God, will she make it? I think even now they don't understand the work that I do, because it's like, you know, with our parents, it's either you're a doctor or you're an engineer or a teacher or something. Like those professions that are put out there.
The big three or the big four. Doctor, engineer.
Those ones. Those ones. So
pilot.
So yeah, it wasn't the thing for me, but like eventually, and like, of course, it hasn't come easy, honestly. There's been a lot of sleepless nights. There's times when someone of us asked you for like your portfolio, and because you're missing some things, you stay up the whole night trying to document certain work. Or you're working on a project, but then you also have your job, but then you also need the money. It's been just that, you know, like someone was saying that like, this one, she's living her best life, which could be true or almost true. But like, there's a lot of work that goes into all these things. You have to do your work. So we'll be good I know, like, also, like, there's a thing you talked about sometime where you're saying that in the Ugandan economy, people are doing like several things instead of like just trying to specialize in a particular thing.
Yeah. So in Uganda, specializing is a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
You have to do more than one thing to make ends meet.
Yeah.
So I think I was talking to when I go back to my space, you can't specialize as a videographer only or a video editor only. You have to know photography. You have to know videography, photo editing, video editing, all of that. And even when you know all these things, much as you are a videographer, much as you're a photographer, outside there, people specialize in, say, wedding photography, wedding videography, events photography, events videography. Here, you have to know it all.
Yeah.
All of it. You'd never know where you're going to get called, but you have to know all of it.
I think maybe, to some extent, I think how I'm trying to get it now is a thing of, if you're doing something, if you say you want to be maybe a pilot, be able to fly or whatever, over a private jet, over what, helicopters, be good at everything you get. Like, that is just areas. Like, you have said, because now where I think the problem comes in is you find that someone is, let's say, I'm a UX designer, then I'm an accountant. You get. Now, those things are totally different from each other, you know? And then you find that I fail to be good at both because my mind is mixed up. And now I feel like that's what fails so many of us. You are Simanya, an HR manager, but also you have your car business somewhere, then you're also doing what, and I'm not saying it's bad, it's not a bad thing, but I realize that the people in the better economies, or even to just find yourself in the better economy, because now there's remote work and everything, you can always relocate. I may be here today and then the next time I'm working in the States, or I'm working in
True.
South Africa or something, because I have become so good at that thing that whichever company is looking for someone, I am the person, you get, because I am good, like I cover everything almost within, like I know everything to do with that particular, should I say, skill set. Yeah. So I feel like I get like the whole point of, out there people actually like go down to wedding photography or whatever, and here you have to know it all, which I think is still okay. But the good thing is it's still photography, you get. I think the problem comes in now is when now you're doing this, you're doing that, your mind can get mixed up. Okay, for me, my mind can get mixed up. That's why I'm like, girl,
some clients be doing exactly what they want. You can find yourself losing out on a good paying gig because the client is like, want you to come and shoot our products. And you find you've been doing wedding photography, you've been doing events photography, you've been shooting this small what's it called, networking events, but this person wants you to come and shoot their products, and then I like send your portfolio, because for you think, oh, I have done photography before, and what I send my portfolio, you send it, and the person are like, yes, you can do photography and all of that, but we're looking for someone who can shoot product photography.
Yeah, I think
and then
maybe
you lose, and the budget is like crazy, but because you're dangling all these things, you just lose that gig.
Yeah, people are very shallow on, people don't dig deep into learning the things. Like if I said, because I told myself I want to be a UI UX designer or product designer, and I have been for the past 1.5 years, I have been trying my best to make sure I grasp everything that is there, you get.
Yeah.
So that over someone says they want an application that's like this, I can do. They want a system, I can do. They want a website, I can do, you get. But because it's still all in UX designing,
Yeah.
So most times people are just like, I'll just stop here. Like, as long as I know how to take pictures on a wedding, that's good. But then you find that now, for example, for myself, the way I would design maybe a mobile application is not the same way it would be for maybe a system for maybe collecting taxes or something. It's not the same thing. But it's not the same approach, but it's in the same field. So it's important that I know both,
Yeah.
And at some point I was like, oh, maybe I should venture into like front-end development and everything, which I think I will at some point. But then it's like, I wanted to make sure I am very good at UX designing, so that even if I add on other knowledge, it's not altering what I already know about designing. I hope that makes sense. Yeah.
It does. So in a sense, even if you're trying to juggle all these other different spaces, you still specialize in a sense.
Yeah.
Because you get to know at least everything about this field.
Yeah.
And then you just become flexible when other things in the field, in the genre, come up.
Yeah.
Product photography, events photography, you at least know something to do about photography, and then you can pick up on that.
Exactly. So for me that's like pretty much been my experience. I feel like I've said a lot, but like that's how it's been, and I am still trying to grow. And in all these things, for me, what has worked for me is knowing what I want and being like very aggressive. And by the way, these things also sometimes it all starts from the mind. What do I mean by that? Your mind creates things. If you think you can't, you won't. Trust me. Because like while you're there saying jobs are hard to find, there's someone who doesn't have to look for a job. Trust me.
There's someone who doesn't have to look for a job.
So make sure you become that person. Such that you stop saying, oh, the economy, yes, the economy is tough, but how are other people surviving the economy, Like for me, I told myself I can't be the person that's always saying the economy or either me this, either me that, you get. So for me, it's been, I know what I want and also my mindset. And I remember there's a time actually when I left, I quit my job and I'd gone for my driving lessons, and I'd skipped like about a week or two, and like person at reception was telling me, oh, as you're job hunting right now, if a job comes, just take it. I'm like, no. No, I have not come very far with trying to build my skill to just give up. I've not come far with my skill to just give up and just get any job because, I need to be working. You need to be very intentional on that thing that you have decided upon. Trust me, somehow a breakthrough comes around. And then, and usually the comeback is bigger than the setback. So, don't. Yeah.
These odd jobs find you when you least expect them.
True.
And they pay you a lot less. But when you're being intentional about what you want, that's when you land the dream job. That's when you land the job that pays you something that you can hang on to as you look for even better and bigger opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been it for this episode. Hope you guys have picked up a lot and like the video. I actually want Sarah to say that because she's good at she's good at that.
No, anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Please like the video, comment, tell us what your experience is like in the comment section.